But thank you so much, Chris. As Chris says, I'm Linda Bryant. I'm Chief Executive of Together for Mental Wellbeing, a national mental health social care organisation working alongside people experiencing mental distress in a variety of ways and in a variety of locations around the country. And one of the key things for us is that we work alongside people in a way so they lead their own care and support. We are here as enablers to people on their own journey towards mental well-being. We have loved working with the university to put on this event, and it's an amazing venue and an amazing place. When I was at university many years ago, I don't remember having any lectures in such an amazing lecture theatre. I don't know whether that's just because I wasn't in many lectures when I was doing my degree, but anyway. So thank you very much to Chris and colleagues for all your hard work. And just to echo Chris's very warm welcome to you all, and it's so lovely to see so many of you. And this is our second annual lecture in the name of Henry Hawkins. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the Reverend Henry Hawkins, he has joined me up on stage here, this very austere-looking Victorian gentleman. He won't be speaking. If he does, you need to remain very calm. But his voice and legacy lives on very much lives on in the charity of Together. And he created the charity over 140 years ago, so we're pretty old. I haven't been there for that long, thank goodness. But his legacy lives on no more so than in the value he placed on the innate kindness of humankind, his belief in the power of community to reach out and look after all its members, irrespective of background, life challenges, and life circumstances. He mobilized the local citizens to provide places in the community of work, places to live, and to offer friendship. And this enabled people who were in Colney Hatch Asylum at the time, a vast and inhospitable psychiatric institution where Henry was the chaplain, to be able to leave the asylum at a time when it was really difficult for people to be back out in the community. This is why we wanted to focus this second lecture on connection and community. At Together, we talk about Henry's work very much as the kind of forerunner for what became community care. Community care being the formal acts of legislation to ensure agencies of state look after the most in need and the most disadvantaged in society. However, during his time, Henry didn't look to change the laws of the land. He didn't advocate for new ones. He set about creating communities that care and act by caring and acting himself. And if we go back even further in time than Henry, hundreds and thousands of years ago, when our ancestors required face-to-face encounters and connection for their communication, it helped them find food, avoid danger, and bond with one another. Because of this, face-to-face connection became the basis of their entire society and community structures. And I believe that today we still have a really deep-seated desire to experience the world with one another, to connect with one another with the same intimacy once tied to our survival. And the reason I know that is we still value connection and community for the good of our well-being because of the way we came together during the pandemic, when communities looked out for one another, creating a sense of hope and belonging. Really making sure that no one was left alone in a time of isolation. And the flip side of that, loneliness, forms very much a part of what Kate Joplin is going to talk to us about shortly. And community is firmly at the centre of what hundreds of organisations up and down the country do day in, day out as part of the voluntary community and social enterprise sector. For Together and many other mental health social care providers, many of whom I'm delighted are represented in the room this evening, we have a long and rich history of delivering vital public services to people in need of care and support at a time and a place that makes sense to them in their lives for the good of their well-being. I've been around the block of the sector for many years, and for many years I've shared the worries and concerns of ever-decreasing funding for this vital work. And right now it's become even more challenging. And it's vital for the voluntary community sector to be able to continue to reach out to people who find it difficult sometimes to accept help and care because of their experiences of mental distress. And it is only through greater investment in the sector that will enable people and communities to thrive, stay safe, and live well. But we are in really auspicious times. Yeah, sorry, thank you, Carol. I'll start singing in a minute, that'll get you going. But we are in auspicious times, which Henry would be delighted about, giving his experience of working in a secure mental health setting like Colney Hatch. The new mental health bill, which has been in gestation, if I can put it like that, for longer than many of us would have hoped, was introduced in the House of Lords last week. It's been a long time coming. The imperative to address outdated laws around the treatment of people experiencing serious mental distress. And they are laws that are vital steps to changing how people are supported at times of crisis. But we know the reforms will only go so far, and there is still much to do, including addressing racialized communities being disproportionately impacted by restrictive and unfair practice and poor outcomes, which we'll be hearing about more from Jackie a bit later.